10 minutes late live from the second parking lot of the day, live from the Sprouts Farmers Market parking lot.
He doesn't know where he is until he reads it. He looks at a cue card.
Oh, we're at Sprouts.
Earth.
Yes. Officer, I wasn't even driving. Was I? There you go. Hello, dear.
Good morning. We are. I have prepared today by washing the Sacramento, hosing the Sacramento patina off of our car, so we can see out the windshield. And I'm also wearing my yellow lens sunglasses so that everything looks better.
How do I look?
You look
jaundice?
It takes the gray out.
Okay.
And I have nothing wonderful to say. I was telling last story about talking to a dog on my walk. So talk to your dogs today, and to the squirrels and the birds and the rats and the bugs around your neighborhood. They all need a reason to live.
Tell them about your black widow.
Oh, well, Loretta, the one I said I've known for months and had babies and everything, and they all left home. Loretta, the black widow who lives under the windowsill of our bedroom outside, I haven't seen her about 4 or 5 days, so I have a feeling she has departed the earth. But there's another one. I named her Loretta so I could say, "Get back, Loretta," whenever I'd hose out under there, because she would come down because I was disturbing her web. No, that's more than you want to know. And then the other one is named Gloria, because my goodness, when you see her, you just say, "Glory."
That's anyway. Not what I say. When I see her, I go, "Ah!"
He won't even come out and look. Okay. So, but you make friends with what you've got here. So, anyway, I'm going now to buy vegetables, which sounds much more harmless than giving black widow spiders a drink on a hot day.
Okay. Well, thank you for your commentary. Thank you for.
I told you it would be stupid today.
Thank you for not being mean. Okay.
The Sacramento patina was kind of mean.
The Sacramento patina. If and when we ever get to move back to Costa Mesa, it'll take 3 weeks to scrub the Sacramento patina off our skin. Okay, I'll be out here. I'll be out here with my friends.
Well, you're welcome to come in with me if you didn't have, Lon's afraid to shop, though.
Yes, it's a phobia.
It has to do with his mother. let him tell you about it.
Speaking of my mother, I'm going to share about my mother today. Well, anyway, we're still reading. We're on the 5th day of a 49, technically 50-day magical retirement that I took when I was, I guess we'd say, disabled from a work injury. And I had a few months ahead of me, so to hear the whole story, you're going to have to scroll back on my Facebook page for the last 4 days, and or on the YouTube channel that you're watching this on. But anyway, we're going on the 5th week, and technically, I'm reading what I wrote on the last day of the 4th week program, and this is where I'm preparing to outline my schedule of yoga and pranayama and exercising and fasting and ritual work. And just on cue, we see a giant truck coming up here. who's anxious to see today's program. Yes, hello. Yes. Please make a lot of noise unloading. You weren't loud enough last week. Anyway, here's what the 5th week program is going to be. The yoga. Every week the yoga cycles and the discipline cycles increase in number, intensity, and time. Okay, so yoga, it will be the same as the 4th week, only with 7 cycles, and then I do that 3 times a day, the whole procedure. Pranayama, I set the goal anyway of 10 minutes minimum. I go over that, but I always do 10 minutes minimum. And that's also increasing in the numbers of seconds of the breath cycle. Okay, asana and daily dharana practice of concentration meditation. My asana is now increasing from just a half lotus posture and then half full lotus, because I'm doing that, and when I'm in the full lotus, Constance places a teacup, a saucer, and a teacup full of water filled to the brim, and my asana in the full lotus hopefully doesn't spill a drop. That's okay. Here's a little quote from Aha. Where is it? Okay. And Aha has a little section of a sevenfold section of stuff that are phases in the unfolding of the meditational process. And the head of the beast, one of the 7 heads of the beast for the this coming up 5th cycle or 5th week, is the head of a valiant man or a warrior. 5th, let the thought, divinely free from sense, observe its entity. Watch every thought that springs. Hence, hour after hour, thy vigilance, intense and keen, turned inward, miss no atom of analysis. Okay. So all of this will begin on April 22nd. I wrote this on April 21st. Still on the 21st, 6 a.m. up, 205 pounds. Oh, it's a moon in Aries, square Uranus. I read The Soul of the Desert in preparation for the cessation of thought. Ambitious, eh? Yoga, 6 cycles. Did pranayama on the patio. Santa Ana wind conditions. Positive ions. Beautiful, clear, warm, windy morning. 30 minutes. Both nostrils starting to run. Pranayama is easy today, but the air feels devoid of prana. The reading for the morning was chapter 4 of book 7, Libra 7. Oh, beatitude of the great goddess, I wrote. 9 a.m., phone call to Shiley Laboratories. That's a place I had was applying for work. Might be paying off. Lunch tomorrow with head of quality control, Larry Maggiano. 9:45, formed host my body into pyramid and placed it here. Solve et coagula. Okay, now part of my process, was the repeated charging of a cake of light. Okay, a large, oversized cake of light, and with my meditational and magical processes, day after day, I continued to charge it because I'm going to use it as a talisman on the 50th day of this 49-day thing. And today I actually crushed it up and formed it into a pyramid. And I sort of drew a picture of it there, placed it in sort of a Bina position, and I called it the host my body. And if you can see the little thing there, I could place it underneath the cup, and that cup was placed right on the center circle of 49-petaled rose altar top. And on the rose altar top, I've been moving day by day a bloodstone around and then inward, week by week, inward toward the center. Okay, let's see, 10 a.m., 6 adoration cycles. 12:15, return from a 3-mile walk, 81 degrees. Yoga, remaining positions, 6 cycles. 15 minutes in full lotus with teacup, no spill. Okay, this is the beginning, April 22nd. Moon trine, I think, Uranus. 5:40 a.m. up. Begin the 5th week program. 205 pounds. Yoga, 7 cycles. Pranayama, 10 minutes. Very sunny, hot day. Winds have stopped. Patio so hot and wonderful this morning, I'll repeat the yoga just for the sweat. 8:30 a.m. Yoga, 7 cycles. 10 minutes full lotus. Attempted to stop thinking. Succeeded for an instant when I stopped trying. Also concentrated on the red triangle and a yellow square. Good, it says. 10:15 a.m. In temple with wand. Lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, lesser banishing ritual of the hexagram. Supreme invocation of the pentagram, visualization of paycheck, and visualizing Constance and I jumping for joy at good news and of securing a feeling before falling asleep. 11:15, a Yi Ching divination. Question: do I have a reason to be optimistic about landing a good job from Larry at lunch today? And it was hexagram 37, the family, but it had 5 moving lines that turned it into 64 before completion. Okay. It was encouraging, like the Yi Ching usually leaves you with encouragement, but not very encouraging. Okay, but before completion is the last hexagram of the 64, and it is the one that you would assume that the entire cycle must start again from there. It's the end of the whole 64 chapter Yi Ching story, and so like the 10 of discs or the Princess of Discs, it's the launching pad for a brand new cycle to begin. So that's that. I had the meeting, 3:30 p.m., no job, no offer, no luck. I put in an application at Shiley, but no openings. Oh, here's what I said. Oh, Shu, who holdeth up the sky, Support thy servant lest he die. That's quoted from Crowley. I feel sick. New moon, April 23rd. 205 pounds. Quote, tear thy mother from thine heart. That's a quote from DuQuette. Why did I write that? Now you got to remember I'm 33 years old. I was a gainfully employed, successful musician, songwriter, artist, recording artist. Okay. I had been a professional musician and nothing else. A gainfully employed professional musician since I was 14. I ended the music career, in a sense, for my own self-preservation, because I enjoyed being a 23, 4, 5, 6-year-old recording artist. Okay, in the late 1960s and early 70s. It was remarkably enjoyable, too much so that it was not going to be, it was going to be unhealthily enjoyable and not conducive to home life and raising a family. But when I quit cold turkey, I was not prepared for life in the objective reality, and it was very difficult for me to find work, and because I was skilled to do absolutely nothing but write songs. But I was lucky enough to get some entry-level type jobs at medical device laboratories near me, within a few miles of everything. And my first magical Goetic operation, I think, was responsible for getting me an old jalopy where I could go apply for work, and I did find work. And I moved from the fabrication to quality control. And then pretty soon the engineering department just saw, well, this kid is interesting. But part of my job was lifting heavy boxes for samples and things like that. And during one of those lifting episodes, I threw my back out and became literally totally crippled, disabled, all of that. I could no longer, function in the job. Unemployment took me so far. A few weeks of what they claimed was disability, but I was stuck, and this is why I had a couple of months ahead of me. I was also, Constance and I were also operating Haru Raha Lodge, an initiatory lodge of OTO in Costa Mesa, and I was doing that too, but I was not bringing in money. So money and rent was foremost on my mind during the period. So this was literally a magical retirement within a nightmarishly stressful home life. So I said, tear thy mother from thy heart. And that's a quote from DuQuette. Phil Bader, my friend, informed me that my mother called him. My mother was still alive, obviously, in those days. I'm going to roll up my window here because this guy's going to make some noise. No, I don't have power windows. That's my power window. Phil Bader informed me that my mother called him to ask why I had shaved my head. I shaved my head and beard for this retirement. She saw me. She came by the house to visit. She saw me after a month of growth. My head and my beard and everything was growing back. I was hardly a shaved head by then. She saw me after a month of growth, hardly a shaved head. She told him, quote, "I would rather have seen him dead." And then I quote, "And this is the wrath of God, that these things should be thus. And this is the grace of God, that these things should be thus." That's also from Liber Het, from which I quoted, "Tear thy mother from thine heart." 7:30, up. 8:30, lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, lesser banishing ritual of the hexagram, supreme pentagram ritual, yoga 7 cycles, pranayama 61 minutes at 10:30:20. And I have little notes pointing to that 61 minutes, which is a long time for pranayama for me. It says, "I have to pee." Palms sweaty. "Depression helps pranayama," I said. 3 p.m., return from 6 Mile Walk. And then this is where I drew this host my body thing there. And it says, "Toto estito sumamu," because I'm going to use that as a Eucharistic host at the climax of this big ceremony. See why I call this diary madness? April 24th, 205 pounds. 2 a.m. up, coffee. The reason for that is we're going to do first degree OTO initiations. And in order for them to end at dawn, we have to start at 4 a.m. 2 a.m. Yoga 7 cycles, attempted pranayama but left nostril tube plugged. 4 a.m. First degree initiation of, I won't say her name, but she was also pregnant. Pretty damn pregnant. We thought maybe any minute there's going to be 2 kinds of initiation. Constance was the emir, and our good friend Bob Payne served as the other officer. After breakfast and our little initiatory talk and everything else, the new first degree went home, and I slept until 8 a.m. Well, I slept from 8 a.m. until noon. And I had to get up at noon because we had a class in our home about Liber Reguli, and it started at 2, and I had to pull myself together to teach that class. April 25th, 8 p.m. up. Daylight savings began last night. We hate daylight savings. Yoga 7 cycles. 11 a.m. returned from 5 Mile Walk. Now, you remember these 5 Mile walks are with a heavy, very uncomfortable back brace also, but I had to keep moving. 10 minutes of pranayama. Let's see. Oh, and I posted this as my screensaver today, or my Facebook cover thing. Oh, what a glorious thing pranayama is, to know what would happen, or to know what will happen in life second to second. Such security, having control of the most basic part of life. I'll say that again. Oh, what a glorious thing pranayama is, to know what will happen in life second to second. Such security, having control of the most basic part of life. 12 noon, evocation of Goetic spirit number 25. I've got it spelled in Hebrew there. That's Orabos, my old pal Orabos. And the purpose was to obtain the dignity of maintaining secure housing and sustenance for myself, my family, and my lodge. Lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, lesser banishing ritual of the hexagram. First conjuration immediately appearing. Visual results excellent. Now, don't think I'm exaggerating here. I've been fasting on and off. I'm doing wild pranayama. So I'm sort of walking around in a non-stop altered state of consciousness where magical visualizations and things like that are just common everyday things. When you whip up a spirit, you're seeing it, okay, without any efforts of wondering, am I seeing something? Okay. No. Visual results excellent. Spirit took commands obediently with remarkably convincing sincerity. Extemporaneous conversation, frank, and I believe covered any spirit loopholes. When asked if he could perform the task as requested, he said he could and would rally all of his familiars to that one end. I asked when I would know he was working for me. He said tomorrow. And it says, see April 28th. So, and there's a couple things. April 28th, I'll cover in a second. License to depart, Star Ruby, Akadua chant. Okay, there's a note, sort of a footnote to this. This ritual done as traditionally as my knowledge and resources allow. White robe, skull cap, dagger, banishing wand, conjuration, circle and triangle, tin sigil of Orabos engraved on the reverse side of the pentagram of Solomon, worn about my neck, incense and oil, parchment sigil, the same one used with success in 1977 to get my car and job in the center of the triangle. And then I have a drawing. "5 p.m. My mother took us to dinner. Well, that's a good start. 11:30 p.m. Opus Neuf. Image strong, elixir well mixed, sweat. Oh no, sweet. There might have been some sweat involved. Anointed the sigil, host my body. The sigil then removed from the triangle to the covered altar. I'm leaving the circle up and the triangle in place, feeling of relief and optimism. April 26th. And here's where I'm looking for results of Orabos working on my behalf. 7:30 up, 206 pounds. Damn. Pineapple this morning. Reguli with wand, sigil in pocket. Yoga. 7 cycles plus 7 full locust. Okay, that's a new pose. Ugh. Pranayama 15 minutes. 9:30 a.m. And I notated this as a possible thing. Nibble from Aerospace Company. 10 a.m. A call from a friend who told me Phyllis had broken her leg. Must call tonight. 10:30. Dewey visits with a new and significant Enochian information from Dee's diaries. Corrected my plate 3 of the Enochian material that that I had. The significant information was a stack of microfilm printouts on that thermal paper. Okay, that's all the British library would send, but it was printouts of the microfilm of the D material, the Sloan manuscripts, and the various things that they had directly from the British Library, which allowed me to see and correct and put in perspective. It was a major quantum leap in my understanding and view of the original D material. I used that microfilm printouts until other Clay Holden and others of the John D. Project, Joseph Peterson's 5 books of. It was very helpful. It was miraculously helpful to have a good friend in Long Beach just come and deliver that to me. But whether that had anything to do, certainly at the moment I wasn't putting 2 and 2 together. Anyway, 11:30 a.m. Another friend visits with a $30 pledge. 3:30 p.m. yoga, 7 cycles. 4 p.m. 2-mile walk. 8 p.m. call to Superior. So in other words, I did call Phyllis, who was recovering from her broken leg, to receive instructions in scrying examination. I was being tested at the time. April 27th, 1982, moon in Cancer, fasting 12 hours and continuing. Yoga, 7 cycles and 7 full locusts. Now, I've debated whether to even share this because it shows how absolutely insane I was. 9:30 a.m. My mother calls and offers $300 if Constance's parents can match it for our rent. Our rent was $600 in those. Jesus, nice big house. Pranayama 10 minutes. 1:30 5-mile walk. 5:15 2-mile walk. 24-hour fast continuing. April 28th. Moon in Cancer, square Saturn. 7:30 a.m. 204 pounds. Fasting 36 hours and continuing. Rather gloomy day. Yoga 7 cycles. Pranayama 10 minutes. 2:45. Invocation of EHNB. That's off of the Tablet of Union. David Wilson was the scryer. I was the operator. Lesser ritual of the pentagram, lesser ritual of the hexagram, plus the first and second Enochian call. Object, a vision, to regular source of income great enough to safely support me, my family, and lodge. If it is necessary for me to take a non-lodge related job, it must pay at least $8 an hour and be close to my house. I must be able to function within the minimum of stress and it must not interfere with my great work. Now, can you see how that was even limiting what could manifest to give me what I really want? But I was a young fool. I did have a vision of the Emperor card And then the 17th Enochian, the 17th I Ching hexagram, which was following. And then that I Ching hexagram was projected on a tan square building, a very plain building. And then David got the name Roger or Rogers or Rasta, an image of the 2 of discs and the 3 of discs and the 3 of wands. I don't know if anything ever came of that vision or not. 5 p.m. fasting 48 hours continuing. 7:30. Okay, I've been fasting for 48 hours and continuing and doing all this crazy magic stuff. And my mom calls. My mom calls. Remember, I'm a 33-year-old adult. But she calls to push every button of my naked soul. Okay. That's the only way I can describe it. Perhaps some of you out there have mothers you can identify with. 7:30 p.m. Terrible blow up at my mother on the phone. I destroyed the phone. I had to tape it back together. My mother is my worst emotional victim. She was big enough to call back and work it out. She and Constance's parents will pay the rent for May. The next day would start the next cycle. And that next cycle has the satyr. The head of a satyr is one of the 7 heads of the beasts. 6th. And I move my bloodstone one more layer inward. 6th. On one thought securely pinned, still every whisper of the wind, so like a flame straight and unstirred, burn up thy being in one word. Okay, let's see. Yep. That's where we'll leave it for today. If any of you are still there, it's too late. We've done so much of it. I gotta finish it off. Anyway, I hope you can see how glamorous a magical retirement is. Okay. But until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.